So a lot of people come to me when something's not working at work. And sometimes they might come because they think, hmm, I need to change job or I need to change career. This isn't working for me anymore. And what I encourage them to do is to think about what isn't working and what is working. And sometimes we can't distinguish what's going on. It all just feels terrible or that a corner is turned. And I like to use metaphors and analogies a lot in my coaching. And what I always share with them is this analogy of a plant. And I'm going to share it with you now. So, you are a plant, a house plant, a plant in a pot. And that might not sound very glamorous, but it's very useful to help break this challenge down into different components. So, you are this plant, and to a certain extent, you are unique. You might look like others, you might have a similar amount of flowers or leaves or whatever it is, but you are unique. And actually, this uniqueness comes from a host of things. It can come from your background. It can come from your attitude. It can come from your motivations, your values, your beliefs. It can come from your personality and your preferences. So there are lots of different reasons why we are unique. And actually recognizing that and being okay with that, being okay with who we are, can be an important first step. But actually, that's only one piece of the puzzle. So, as a plant, a house plant, we are planted in a pot. And this is the second part. So, the pot represents our role. And as a plant, we might be in a pot that is made of china, it might be made of terracotta, it might be one of those traditional terracotta coloured plastic pots, it might be a glass pot, it might be an old boot, it might be a toilet. We could be planted in lots of different pots. And as I said, the pot represents the role. So the role could be the right role for us. It could be a role that is the right size for us. So sometimes as a plant gets planted into a new pot, the pot is quite big. So the role could be quite big for us if we go into a new role. And being able to kind of grow and expand, having that scope to expand can be useful. But knowing when we have outgrown our pot and we are ready for something bigger or better or just different is important to acknowledge as well. So that is the piece about the pot, and it's useful to think about whether the role is the right role for us. And sometimes if we're looking for a new pot, that pot could be a bigger pot, or it could be a different shaped pot, or it could be a similar pot but in a different location. And location is the next bit that we're going to move on to. So with a house plant, the plant is located somewhere. And it might be located in a place that helps it grow, and it might be located in a place that makes us wither and die. And so this location of our pot is really important. Now, some plants like to be in direct sunlight. Some like to be in indirect sunlight, but they still like to be in a fairly light place. Some like different levels of humidity or warmth or coolness. And actually, that location is really important to help the plant flourish in the best location for it. Now, this location is relevant to us. It could be the team, it could be the culture, it could be the organization, it could be the conditions that we are working in or up against or surrounded by. So, this location could be really useful to examine, is this the part that is working well for us, or is this the part that actually could be damaging to us or could just not be allowing us to flourish and grow in the way that would be optimal for us? And then the final piece around this is around the nurturing. And house plants are dependent on people, are dependent on people for water, or maybe giving us a trim or removing our dead bits or for putting us in a different location, etc. And that kind of nurturing is important because without that, the plants may not flourish, or actually they can grow to their full potential. So thinking about this from our role, our work perspective, that nurturing is the management. And this could be our direct management, or it could be kind of more indirect management, maybe the leadership of the organization. but knowing the right kind of management or situation or support to help us grow and flourish is going to make a big difference to how we grow to our potential. Now, some of us need to be left alone, a little bit like cacti. Cacti doesn't need much nurturing at all, but some of us are going to need a lot more support, especially if we're in a new role, if we've just been replanted somewhere else, and actually knowing what kind of support we need at a particular time and finding the right kind of manager or leader that's going to enable that and empower that is really important to us. So I've covered the different parts. We've looked at us as the plant. We've looked at the pot representing our role. We've looked at the location of the pot representing, I guess, where we are, and that could be the team or the organization or where we are in that. And we've looked at the nurturing as well. So before you get ready to, I guess, give it all up or move on to something new, I would encourage you to think about that and think how this is relevant to you and which bits are working and which bits need the most attention. Now, you can work through this on your own, but if you would benefit from a conversation with somebody neutral on this, get in touch for a career discussion and I would be happy to help.